going on, dudes? And dude, yes, earlier on today on Friday, we found out some more news of some Duke players heading to the NBA draft, and it looks like both Kyle Filipowski, the sophomore, and the freshman Jared McCain will be entering the draft officially. I'm pretty sure after they wrapped up like their end of the year awards give out ceremony that they kind of usually do, which is kind of like when players start entering the portal or deciding to leave if they're going to go to the portal or the NBA draft or end up sticking around. That's why we already heard about Proctor the other day and a couple other players leaving in the portal. But yes, was kind of expecting both of these guys to go. I know McCain recently said that he would love to play with incoming top number one player Cooper Flagg, and thought that they would have made a great team and been able to play around him. It was something he could look forward to, but he was also going to do what was his best interest. And of course, now he has decided to go to the NBA, so definitely very excited to see where these guys end up. They definitely should be drafted in the first round. Just depends how talented other teams think that they are. But even if you're selected late in the first round, that usually means you're going to a playoff team anyways, which could be very beneficial for both of these guys. So definitely looking to see where they land. And then earlier on Friday, yes, USC did get a 3-star offensive lineman from the state of Washington, Willi Wascher. He did commit to USC. He is technically right now he is only a 3-star, but he's very talented, very good inside. I know he plays center, but it definitely looks like he could play guard as well. He's probably a little bit too thick to play tackle and probably a little bit smaller too. He's still 6'3", which is probably bigger than some of the centers that USC has recently had, but him to play center or guard for his USC future will definitely be good. Yeah, this is sort of a replacement player in the future for Jason Zandamela, who recently said he was going to the portal, the ex-freshman now, but doesn't help you right this year because he is coming next season. So I still expect USC to make a move at some point in the transfer portal, which opens up this Monday. And speaking of the transfer portal, yes, they heard a couple of their players from the USC football program are entering in, and it's kind of surprising for one of them, which is the defensive lineman Isaiah Rakes and also the cornerback Tre'Quon Fagans. I know Fagans transferred from Alabama. He wasn't getting much playing time there. Didn't really get much playing time here at USC. I don't know if it's just his work ethic or his ability to not get on the field, but it looks like he's looking to play somewhere else, so it's not really going to hurt USC's depth in my opinion. But Rakes was definitely one of the big targeted guys to come in from Texas A&M just recently in January. Then all of a sudden he's going back into the portal, which kind of says quite a bit more about him than it would be about USC, because everybody speaks highly of USC's coaches, especially on the defensive line. And for a guy who was targeted and wanting to come into play for a lot of these coaches, then all of a sudden leaving after a couple months, I just don't understand it. But either way, we'll see what ends up happening here. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to get one of those positions filled out in the transfer portal, so we will see. And early Friday, the Lakers did beat the Memphis Grizzlies on the road 123-120. They definitely should have beat this team, but for some reason they weren't able to secure it. But LeBron did have a nice game himself. He had 37 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. And apparently they have moved up into the number 8 spot, because I think Sacramento lost the other day, and then so did Golden State recently as well. So Lakers were only half a game behind those two. Now they jumped up from the number 10 spot from Friday morning to the number 8 spot going into Saturday. So they have a chance to maybe move up to 7, I think. I think they're still going to be in the play-in no matter what. But to be able to host a game instead of having to go on the road and all that stuff, it's probably better for the Lakers. They're probably most likely going to have to play 2 games either way, but at least they will get to host. And then, like I said, you most likely get Denver to start the playoffs, which would be pretty crazy, but they'll be ready for it, in my opinion. And then Yes, when it came to the Anaheim Ducks, they did lose to the Calgary Flames on Friday 3-6, but I did find out that one of their players that has been around for like 11, 12 years, Jakob Silverberg, was going to be retiring. He's one of the assistant captains on the team this year. I didn't really know about it pretty recently until I saw them doing some stuff, some congratulations stuff on social media and all this stuff, and then even the NHL put out a thing the other day, I think it was like a day or two ago, that he would be retiring after this season, which is a little bit surprising because he is like 33, and usually hockey players play a little bit farther in to their career. But either way, thank you for your service. I know it wasn't all that pretty most of the years, but he definitely stuck around, stuck with it, tried to build this team up, and did as best as he could. Yes, sadly, they lost on this very last game at home and all this stuff, but yes, hoping he does have a good rest of his life going on. But yeah, it does suck to see him go, but he will be sorely missed. And I think it was Julian Lewis's father recently said a couple of the more kind of set official visits he's going to have in June. Only seemed like 4 teams, but USC is that second team he will be visiting in that month around that 7th through 9th weekend. So obviously that's going to be one of their bigger weekends, and hopefully they will be able to keep him in. It does suck that they're not having the last official visit, but either way, still getting him on one of those big weekends is good enough, in my opinion. Then there was a pretty talented player. It's recently the Player of the Year in the NEC. I don't really know where that is, but his name is Jordan Durkak, and I think he recently set up a USC visit on the basketball side. So yeah, we'll see if they end up picking up this guy or not in the transfer portal. Then there was a Texas Edge player, Alif Hastings, was going to be at USC this weekend on a visit. So yeah, I don't think they had like a ranking for him, but obviously if they're inviting defensive line players, then he must be a pretty talented dude. So yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with him. Yes, when it came to the draft, they did put up a stat that there have been 63 total linebackers drafted from USC, which is pretty crazy. I don't think it's the highest ever, but that's definitely one of the top numbers up there from total colleges, in my opinion. And then CBS Sports did do, or they actually project 6 USC players to be drafted in this draft coming up in a couple of weeks. I think that's tied for like 6th or 7th place. Let me read it real quick. I like to get numbers right. They have 6 players tied for 8th, and they're tied with like 7 other teams for 6 players to get drafted this year. So yeah, it's a pretty good number. I know a lot of mock drafts come out and it's only like maybe 3 or 4 guys selected total. But yeah, they could definitely bump that number up to 5 or 6, and we'll see what ends up happening in a couple weeks from now. And this X/Twitter account called Founder Inc. or Founders Edit, something like that. They kind of do a bunch of stuff where they kind of like edit and Photoshop, you know, the USC jersey on some guys that they're liking, or maybe the guys that end up transferring to USC and all that good stuff, or committing. And they've been recently doing a thing where they're trying to get like a USC football family Twitter photo or something like that. So if you were a fan, you sent them, direct message them a picture of you, and they would try to superimpose it on this blank canvas behind an SC logo. And luckily I made the cut. I barely did, because once I saw it, it was about like 3/4 full, and I was able to make the little bit on the top half. So hopefully we'll see how long that lasts. It's a pretty cool thing, and luckily I was able to get on there, so that's nice as a USC Trojans fan. And then to end on some miscellaneous news, yes, apparently it is official now. After CinemaCon, they did announce that there will be a Transformers / G.I. Joe team-up / crossover movie, which is a little bit surprising because that last one, Rise of the Beast, I don't think it really did that great when it came to money in the box office, but this was a thing that they teased at the end of the movie, and it looks like it will be happening, so we'll see how it ends up going. It could be great, it could be crap, but they're pretty much owned by Hasbro, right? So I guess you gotta mix up certain things, and the military is used a lot in Transformers, especially in those Michael Bay films. So we'll see how it ends up going. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Bye.